Thanks very much, Stuart. What a fantastic atmosphere here at the Champion of Champions. Snooker has found a new star. This is the semi-finals of this £300,000 event. Will it be the new kid on the block or the former world champion that takes it? Sit back, relax, let's find out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, this young man was absolutely fantastic, defeating Sean Murphy by 4 frames to 2. Just 15 years of age, an incredible talent from China. Please welcome Yan Bingtao! But he's up against a natural-born winner, former world champion, UK champion, former Masters champion from Australia. Please welcome the Thunder from Down Under, Neil Robertson!
So it's Neil Robertson, the 2010 world champion and winner of 9 other world ranking titles, versus this outstanding Chinese prospect, Yan Bingtao, still only 15 years of age.
Thank you. The first frame, Yan Bingtao to break.
I was interested in Alan McManus drawing the distinction between nervousness and excitement, and I'm sure that Yan is excited about all this. It's all new to him. He's at the stage of his career where it's all a great big adventure. No pressure on him, nothing to worry about. Just settle down and play. I was also interested in your point, Neil, about Neil Robertson possibly ironing the spontaneity out of his game.
Well, I've kind of felt that way for a while. I think he's a great player, and I have a lot of time for Neil, just the way that he conducts himself and all of that. But I do remember him as the expression gets used a lot in snooker, great single ball potters. I mean, what is that? But all I know is, you know, there were lots of different parts to his game, and I think he's trying to, if you could turn it into a football analogy, you know, you see football teams trying to walk the ball into the goal, never take any risks, do it all in this textbook way, and I don't really think that would be his style. And as I said, he got in here for winning in Gdynia, which is not one of the bigger events on the calendar. He didn't get in by winning anything else like any of the major events, albeit, as you pointed out, he's won 10 of those in total. It'll be interesting to see how he plays this match, because I guess he'll feel obliged to use his experience, because that would be asked of anybody. But it is a fine balance.
Robertson hasn't won a full ranking event since the early weeks of last season, but you can't argue with the innate quality of his game.
Well, you can be an extremely tough man to beat, or you can frighten your opponent. And Neil at his best has always been a frightening player, because he can pot any ball.
not touching.
Well, I don't think touching ball was called, so I think
Oh.
he for a second, yeah, as you say, I don't think it is touching, but I think for a second he believed it was because he was going to play away. So it's a good job he rethought about that.
There have been a couple of long pots attempted, one on either side, neither threatening a pocket very much. Brendan Moore is the referee.
What Neil did do today, he beat quite an awkward opponent in Rory McLeod, 4-0, and played pretty well in the process. Made a century in the first frame, but that took a while because, not the century, but just to get to that point, because it was a lot of long bout of safety. So, can't fault him on what he's achieved today. Kind of got slightly overshadowed by what followed.
Yan Bingtao's extraordinarily mature performance in beating Sean Murphy, the world number 4, 4-2.
One.
I wonder if the natural angle on the blue means he can avoid going into that red on the left side. He'd like to finish in behind it as a left-hander. It might be a little close to hitting it, which means he's playing the black.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Overcut it.
I think Yan Bingtao needs a good start in this match because he lost the first earlier against Sean Murphy. He was 40 in front with 2 reds but lost it, and you thought, well, here we go, that was a good start, and he's going to lose the match. But by the same token, he kind of settled fairly quickly this afternoon. And doesn't want Neil to get away from him early in a long match. It'd be hard to come back.
One.
May not be able to. We're on the back red from the black. Or can he just about hold for that lowest red?
Sometimes how much you can hold on shots, but I must admit it looks like the cue might just drift up past the red at the bottom of the bunch here if he isn't careful. I don't know what else he can play. He's thinking about coming all around the houses and getting into the bunch. So bring the house down, I think. only width of a ball, those bulk colours, but occasionally seem much bigger when you're trying to avoid them playing through the bulk area.
Yan Bingtao, 8.
Not as near the ball cushion with his safety as he would like to have been. Robertson not interested in the long pot though.
Well, one thing we certainly learned about Bingtao, and it's no shock because a young player who's any good at this game is going to be a very fine potter. Neil didn't watch the match, he said. I can understand why he'd been preparing for tonight. I think he would have been preparing to play Sean Murphy though, as opposed to Yan Bingtao, a 15-year-old.
Yes, I think he would have been quite surprised to discover that Yan had won.
A lot of balls moved there. Unfortunately, the worst part is that the black's gone safe.
4.
So he lost a bit of control. Almost better to go into the bunch, I think. But at least
5.
the pink goes to the middle. So you can keep the break alive.
Yan Bingtao, 5.
Just put it a little too far onto the far jaw from virtually straight behind it.
One. Paintball. Yeah, Robertson 1.
Robertson certainly regards this tournament as something special. That's why he didn't go to the Bulgarian Open last weekend. Wanted to keep himself fresh for this.
Well, times have changed in snooker so much now. I mean, if you're a leading player like Neil, you could play snooker. You could probably never be at home playing snooker. I mean, I know that some of the guys who are still in the tournament were possibly flying out to Hong Kong at the weekend to play in the General Cup, which is not a big tournament, not ranking. It's the one that Ali Carter picked up last year on his comeback from illness. But you know, the grand scheme of things, it's not a priority tournament. But if you're playing everything and you end up burned out by the World Championships.
Joe Perry, who's due to play in the afternoon semi-final on Saturday here, is due to fly to Hong Kong on Saturday evening. But of course, he'd rather be playing in the final on Sunday here.
Yes, and of course Karen Wilson said that the other night to us, that he's due to fly out at the weekend as well for that same event. This is by far and away a bigger event. Prestigious and with a big prize fund. Good shot, really clean. Good atmosphere in here tonight, I think. For a match that will intrigue a lot of people.
Six.
Far from the best result though on that positional cannon on the bunch.
He's looking over towards the pink and maybe getting over in behind that, perhaps. He's a change of heart. Either way, I should expect Jan's next shot to be
Yeah, Robertson,
not
6.
easy. Potted a few from that bolt cushion, tight up against it earlier on, especially when he had no other shot. He might not be aware of it, but he'd like to keep him at very long range. Played that well, good pace. Don't think Neil can see enough of that red near the right corner to pot it.
Far on this. Jan Bingtao, 6.
I should think it'll go back.
Put it back or ask Robertson to play from the position left. Jan asks for the balls to be replaced in their original position.
Yeah, the most important
It's just hit the edge on
ball
the
to be replaced here is certainly the cue ball.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll probably have another try at this, and if it fails again, he's definitely playing a different shot.
Anxious backward look to see whether he's left the red nearest the right corner. I don't think he has.
No, but I wonder if that one that's stopping the red going pots itself. Second one up. Yeah. That will pot. He was crunching some of those in earlier on. And there's another one that pots as well, I think.
Not a potting attempt in the end. Robertson can't see the red which is over the pocket. Is there any possibility of sending another red onto it?
I thought he might be playing that. It was attempted in-off, really, a cannon. And was trying to, as if he was trying to go in off the other red, but the red over the hole was going to be his cannon. Hit a red on the way through. It was didn't look very nice.
One.
Unfortunately, all the coloured balls are up at the other end of the table. Scoring is going to be very difficult. And the three big scoring balls are all very awkwardly placed. I think a break of 25 would be some
4.
effort from here.
Five. Rainbow.
He just wants to make sure he doesn't try too much here. He's got a
8.
red at mid-range. With, if he's going to get anywhere near a colour, he's going to have to belt this, and he doesn't want to lose control. He looks older than 15. His World Championship, World Cup winning partner, Zhou Yulong, 17, looks more like a 15-year-old. In the middle. You've got to take them when they come. And we had a lovely view of it, Clive. It was always in.
Not plumb on the colour though, but you can't.
It's a horrible table, isn't it? I mean, what's he going to do here? Well, he's cued it beautifully. I mean, obviously his cue ball is not a piece of string, as they say, not at this stage of his career. He's as green as grass, isn't he? Let's be honest. But this afternoon he has.
And Bingtao.
That's a very good shot though. A very good appreciation of safety play there. But I think in the main, Neil, you're right. You compare Jan at 15 with what Ronnie O'Sullivan was like at 15. We saw a few clips of him at the end of the afternoon transmission.
Jan Bingtao 5.
What do you think? How would you compare them?
Well, O'Sullivan was much more polished at 15.
Yeah, I know. You're right. It's not a very fair comparison, though, is it? Because he, you know, in a way, was the exception to any rule when it comes to snooker, I suppose. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Ronnie, age 12, I think we were watching there, was it? Something like that earlier on. 14, beg your pardon. In the meantime, we've got this.
Both okay?
Well, I think he's actually asking us in the commentary box here, not sure. The Clive, but they're asking us our opinion in here. I didn't know, I wasn't ready for this, were you?
Not at all.
In? Yeah, because you could get straight up. Playing ball. It's rolling back. If you watch when I let go of it, rolling back.
Usually, World Snooker has a monitor at the scorer's table, and they've got one this week. So, although it's very fine margins, it should be possible to sort this out to everyone's satisfaction.
that's over.
One.
I guess just to finish off on that, I mean, we'll never know if Ronnie O'Sullivan had been able to turn professional when he was good enough to, which was about the age of 13 or 14. We'll just never know how good he could have been at that age. We know how good he is
Bingtao.
and has been in his career, but you know, he could have done a lot of damage before he was able to turn professional at age 16. Because when he did turn professional, he won heaps of matches in a row.
72 of his first 74, although some of his opponents in all the qualifying competitions he had to play that summer weren't all that.
Very diplomatically put, Clive. Some of them are useless, unfortunately, but there were some really good ones as well, and put them all away, good and bad.
"25 minutes play already in this very scrappy opening frame. Highest breaks so far, Robertson 6, Jan 11. In fact, Jan's 11 break was 3 reds, 2 greens and a yellow. Hasn't done any significant damage. Robertson showed nice touch there, though.
Foul on the miss. Near Robertson 4.
I think that's what he played first time. Quite a long way out, nearer to the red that he didn't even mean to hit. It's not really the start we expected. It's a very scrappy frame. I don't think it'll last like this. I think this is just a blip as to what we'd like to see.
This is one of those frames where you've just got to wait for something to happen.
Fuck. Jan Bingtao.
And nothing significant has happened yet.
No, except for he's actually got a very handy lead, Jan, hasn't he? 28 points, where the balls are and have been for the most part. He got extremely close to that one. He knocked in some shots this afternoon. A lot of them when he really had to knock them in.
He's been fortunate enough to leave Robertson snookered on the nearest red. And Robertson didn't hit that red as intended. It's an awkward cutback though for Jan. I'm not too surprised he's turning it down.
No pot intended there, I don't suppose, but he has left a red that's potable. He's not going to go for it though. He's playing the other side of this red. I'm right behind the line of the shot.
I think a more experienced player would have been more aware of the danger of clipping the second red over a corner pocket from that safety.
What do you do here? I mean, I guess you take the points. I can't imagine how he could get on another red. I don't think it's possible. So you take 5 points and run.
Six.
Not
Neil
a good shot
Robertson,
from
6.
Neil there. I mean, he sure played to hit it on the way up, and pushed the red a little bit closer to the pocket than he would have wanted to. Looks like he can get his cue to it.
Jan still leads by 22 in this protracted opening frame. Coming up to 34 minutes already for this frame, but it's how the balls go sometimes. You've just got to grind it out. behind the brown. Almost. Almost a very good shot, but an adequate one in any case.
It's turning into a bit of a nightmarish opening frame, isn't it? Needed 22 points, but it's hard to see how Neil's going to win this frame in more than less than about 3 visits where the balls are. Clearance isn't really on. High value colours are tough, so it's not a good frame. It's not a good start. They all count at the end of the match. Whether you make a 100 break or you win one of these.
And they won't all be like this, you can be sure.
Hard to see that he could make many from here. He could, if he can get in behind that brown, it'd be a pretty evil snooker, I think, if it can go in behind there.
Neil Robertson 1.
Jan Bingtao still 21 in front.
I wonder if he'll be anything like that at the end of this. If he can go one cushion, it isn't that difficult, but he has to go across twice. That will be a different story. It wasn't so bad as all that.
He's left this red on though.
One. Six.
But has overrun his intended position.
Neil Robertson 6.
That's a dreadful shot. What a terrible shot. And in trying to keep things very basic and simple, he's given him a chance. I mean, absolutely nothing shot played by Neil, which he's got away with. Not some kind of trap that he laid, it was a lax shot that he'd played prior to the one that Jan played. got away with one there, Robertson.
Longest frame of the tournament, 40 minutes already.
Another hour for the McManus Pinchers frame to come into any kind of a threat. 100 minutes and something they played. 100 minutes and 20 odd seconds the other day. And I think it might have been in the one that Roy McLeod won in Ruhr or somewhere like that.
Well, it's not that they're playing especially badly. There just never seems to be anything to go at. Unintended kiss, but very unlikely to be all that significant. Tried to nestle in behind the pink. This is such a long and tortuous frame that you feel somehow it's bound to come down to a black ball finish.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these safety shots on the yellow, but even then, it's not as if whoever pots the yellow is automatically going to win the frame, as you say. A nice little lead of 11 points. That's kind of changed a few things. Now, hang on a minute. That is put a bit slightly different complexion on the frame with the green and brown now slightly more available. And this is a bit of a chance. Could play it in the bottom, but I think he's also got the option to go right middle, which I think he's going. Up and down twice. As long as he doesn't go too far and gets covered by the brown, it's a very good shot.
Green and brown in addition, and Robertson would need a snooker.
Yeah, what does he do? It's easier to play on the brown into the opposite corner.
5.
He can afford to just drop this in. He wouldn't want to be playing anything flash here. Brown, see it go in the pocket and don't worry about the blue until after the brown's gone in. Oh, well done.
9.
Well done. Only one snooker.
There's more than one
40.
snooker now.
Yan Bingtao, 40.
Frame not over yet. 2 snookers to tie.
It's always going to be tough though, isn't it? Because he can go in or over first chance. And Bingtao might just drop this in or, as I say, right over the hole. That will be 1-0 to him.
Frame conceded. Frame Yan
Robertson
Bingtao.
concedes. A very scrappy frame. It lasted 45 minutes, but Yan Bingtao has taken a 1-0 lead.
Okay, Neil, thank you. The second frame. Neil Robertson to break.
I'd regard it as a pretty safe bet that this second frame will be quicker than the first, which was officially timed at 46 minutes 10 seconds.
He's missed a couple of those, but he's got extremely close to them, and it's probably just the speed that's kept them out.
One.
Needed more angle really to get off the top cushion and back to take the back red to the same pocket.
Eight.
Possible red to middle though.
Neil Robertson, 8.
He normally pots those, not that they're easy. One shot he could play here is pot the red and cannon the black to a better position. Missed the cannon.
Yellow ball. Yan Bingtao, 1.
right of centre striking to make sure cue ball went past the blue.
Thank you.
I think, well, he can certainly get to the left side of the bunch from this. Don't want to open them up too much. It's a good comeback shot. It's excellent. Okay, not the snooker, but it's a very well directed shot.
Foul. Yeah, Robertson 4.
Hit that all wrong.
Played it with a bit of right-hand side and it pushed it left, hit it thick. I noticed a few times he's not hitting to the centre of the ball, he's using side, and that's very hard to do on these very fine cloths. Pushes the ball in the opposite direction initially before the side takes effect. Oh, that's a good shot. That's a sign of intent, and I think that's where Neil has to really stamp some authority on this match. He has to make his contributions hurt his opponent, and he'll do that by scoring heavily. And here's a chance.
Six. Seven.
Every possibility that the pace of play will accelerate here. This is pretty much the first obvious break-making opportunity of the match.
14. $15. $21. $22.
No, he really wants to shoot that red that's just below the black from that angle. That's good. We can pot it now, and everything's open. As Clive says, it's turning into the first real opportunity.
29. $30. $37. $38.
Question of whether that red goes to the left corner.
45.
I think it might just creep past. It's not straight though. Yeah, so if he does play it, he's got to go through reds to get to his next colour. Still 83 on. 7 reds and blacks would, and all the colours would amount to that. Looks like he's shaping up to play a screw shot through, hopefully through a gap. Probably up for the blue, I think. That's well played, actually.
46. $51. $52.
What a time to have a kick when he was within sight of clinching the frame.
Didn't see it jump as much on that angle as that low shot that we saw at the time. You see a little jump from the bed of the table. There have been loads of them, but it's one or two important ones. Joe Perry had one in the decider last night against John Higgins, which didn't cost him the match, but it, at the time, stopped him winning it at that visit.
If Robertson hadn't had a kick there, he would have needed only black in addition to leave Jan needing a snooker. Indeed, he would probably have gone on to clear up.
Well, he figures that his lead is an even bigger one with the black on
Neil
the side
Robertson,
cushion.
52.
He would have to be right because Jan couldn't win the frame without potting reds with a black somewhere or two somewhere in there. So it's looking awfully like 1-all. And that's not helping matters either. Just staying up, drifted away at the last second. Was right behind the line of that. He's passed the test of queuing there, dead straight. Very nice. It'll be a miraculous clearance though. Say the black gets to be potted sooner rather than later. Otherwise there'll be
7.
not enough points left on the table. I wonder
8.
if he has any angle on this to try and push that red and black away from each other. May not be on in his plans, but as I say, the way things are going, he's got to find a way of developing the black.
$14. $50.
I believe he was trying to leave an angle on the pink so that he could develop black and red. I don't think he's got it though.
$21.
In playing this shot, he must make sure the black doesn't go on safe onto another cushion. I'm afraid that's not a very good shot. He did it out in open play. A little better than that.
21.
All right, the cue ball's fine, but there is 42 in it. And he really could have done with the black more potable than where it's finished.
Jan needs 2 reds, 2 blacks to win. Plus the colours, of course. 2 reds, 1 black, 1 pink to tie. Not far from a bonus there for Jan. Just flicked it. There was that thin skim.
Strange old shot. Did he really play the plant?
Well, I think if that was his intention, he was very unwise, and looking where all the balls are finished, what else could he have played?
No, but he really could have stuck both these reds as it happened. It's not an easy opener at all. Maybe how to pot this. Yeah, well, that could have finished a little easier for Jan from where Neil played his shot.
One.
So Robertson's dubious shot choice at his previous visit isn't going to matter.
Seven. Eight. 30. 50.
The rest of this frame is for amusement only. We all know it's going to be 1-1.
18. 22. 27. 33. And the frame.
It's taken 69 minutes, but the match has reached 1-1.
Thank you to third frame. Jan Bingtao to break.
Frame 3 of a possible 11.
One.
Very nice from so near the side cushion, with a bit of distance involved.
Eight.
9.
And it's always going to be a tough split from the lack of angle he had on the black, but I think he might have just found a way
60.
onto one of those.
Seventeen. $22. Thank you. 23.
Well, the must fancy this red in
30.
the middle. He's a little bit wider on it than he'd like to have been. I thought he'd be straight. Well, I'll be honest with you, we were right behind that, Clive. I always thought it was
Bingtao.
hitting
30.
the far jaw. I didn't think it was a set plant.
I thought that as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously from that angle, it was difficult to tell, but it didn't really appear to be on. It was an odd one, that.
No attempt at the pot. Intended to send that red tight to the ball cushion. Covering the red on the ball cushion. But in the end left that red cuttable.
1.
So that was an unforced error by Jan. That safety mistake. No joy there.
6. Near Robertson 6. Par on us. Neil Robertson 4.
Well, I'm not sure whether he'll make the same mistake again here. Just a simple roll up to that bottom red on the left, I think. That wasn't there, but Brendan will certainly get that absolutely bang on. He could get past the yellow fairly comfortably, I thought. I think it might have been...
That way?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was further that way. I don't think it was a difficult shot to hit. I just don't think he judged it all that well.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe just a trace of left-hand side on this, but not much.
This is hard battling snooker, but so far this evening, break-making chances have been hard to come by. This is already a 5-minute safety duel. But you can't really say, can you, Neil, that there are balls they should have gone for and haven't?
No, it's not much you can do sometimes. You just have to keep on and not allow the situation to get too frustrating, because, like you say, the things can change very quickly. It can become an attacking match. That was a bad error. Hit it too thick. He's done that a few times, actually, on those shots.
One.
The first pot for 6 minutes.
Six. Seven.
Yes, this is the red to get
12.
the black into action.
$13.
Yes, and maybe to try and move one of the two reds, the left-hand one, to make the other one available, and that one. And just a little flick of them, but it's not absolutely A1.
$20. You won. $28. $29.
Didn't catch that quite right.
Yellow. Here, Robertson. 29.
Well, you'll be, I'm sure, looking at these long reds, the one that is on the right, he did say put a few of those earlier on in the day against Sean Murphy. Similar to that one, if you didn't cue those with such confidence, you might as well play them, because it is his strength.
Bramble.
Slightly overcut.
Bingtao. 1.
He's very near with his waistcoat.
1.
But Brendan Moore was in the best position to see whether he was or not.
Six.
almost a replica. Close again. And Brendan Moore again looking right
7.
on top of the situation there. And wants to finish high on this next red from when the black's potted, because of course when it respots it'll cover some of the room to get on the red. It's gone a bit too far actually.
$40. $50.
Now what? Oh, we can play a snooker guaranteed, but he could knock this blue in and push the red down the cushion and win the frame of his own steam. And that's what he's played. I think it's a nice, encouraging shot, I think, to see Neil play it that way instead of playing anything a little bit more negative.
20.
And this will be frame ball. I think that was good.
21.
And there wasn't all that much pressure on it because both green and pink were under cushions, and making it pretty unlikely that Jan could have cleared up if Robertson
28.
had missed.
Thank you. 30. Neil Robertson, 30. Pound a frame.
Neil Robertson dropped the opening frame but has won the last two to lead by 2 frames to 1.
Thank you. Frame 4. Neil Robertson to break.
.88 minutes of hard graft have given Neil Robertson 2-1 lead.
Safety from Jan, yellow covering the left side of the table, so he can't play off the bunch that side.
There were one or two critics of the decision to give places in this tournament to the winners of a team event, even if it was the World Cup. But both these Chinese teenagers have fully justified their inclusion. Zhou Yulong beat Stuart Bingham yesterday before, not yesterday, but Monday, before losing in the group finals of Karen Wilson. And here's Yan Bingtao in another group final.
just seeing that when he pushes that red into the bunch, what damage it would do, or maybe the red on the end of the bunch. He doesn't want to put a red over the left corner. That's really what he's worried about. We managed to avoid that.
Nice little flick at the end off the green. It leaves Jan snookered.
Can give up.
Pretty good direction on that shot. Straight into the bolt cushion. Never easy.
Played it in such a way that he couldn't leave a red, but was going to be on the pink if the red dropped. Robertson has always been very intense on the table, but he's only just beginning to live down a reputation as Mr. Casual or Mr. Forgetful. Look back through his career and you'll find instances of him mislaying his passport, getting on the wrong train, pitching up at the Crucible once in his trainers without a pair of shoes to play in and having to buy a pair about a quarter of an hour before he was due out in the arena. They used to say of Australia's great billiards player of the 30s, Walter Lindrum, arguably the best player of all time. He's so obsessive about billiards, there's no room in his head for anything else. And Robertson is certainly intense about his snooker.
How's he going to make this into a break? All
Four.
those reds all are scattered around the black ball.
Ten. $11.
This frame could provide the first hint that Robertson could pull away to a relatively comfortable victory in this match.
17.
If he did win this frame, he would have a 3-1
18.
lead at the mid-session interval and be halfway to the 6 frames he needs to clinch his place in the semi-finals.
Yeah, he's just finished low on the blue though, which means it's very difficult to get round for the next colour unless he takes something like the pink, which is near on the brown spot, and springs the cue ball around the angles.
Foul. For Robertson 18. Bingtao 6.
Well, eventually took on the more difficult pink, but seemed to me to do so reluctantly.
Yeah, a little bit timidly, wasn't it? I mean, I think the problem was he wanted to get over on the right side of the table. If it was the left of the table, he would have played the stun around and it would have been a more Robertson-like shot. Oh, that's unlucky. That was close. And if you get that close and they stay over the hole, you feel a bit aggrieved, I think. Anyway, plenty of cover on it. I mean, it's unreachable, I think, where it is. Even with a swerve, or might be one way out of the snooker to hit it. The others, reds are all covered as well. Maybe one cushion. But is it tough to hit? Oh, is he gonna? This is a big swerve. This is a very big swerve.
Foul.
Still didn't get enough on it.
Bingtao 4. One.
Jan will be
Bingtao 1.
disappointed to have missed that. And Robertson would be disappointed to have missed that.
One. Six.
Good try to force round, but not quite there.
Thank you. Bingtao 6. Foul and a miss.
Sorted out the
Down
black
Bingtao
somehow or
7.
other.
Quite hard to believe that, wasn't it, of all the possibles he could have hit. There's no getting away from it. It's been a pretty average session of snooker, this, in a long match. As you say, Robertson might end up 3-1 up. There's not much in this frame, but his overall standard is not really what you'd expect of such a high-ranking player.
Yeah. Thank you.
Missed a few.
Foul and a miss. Bingtao 4.
Having given 11 away with his previous 2 shots. Has come out safe at least. We've talked of Robertson's ability to grind, but Bingtao is not without that kind of ability either. And here Robertson has offered him a reasonable chance from middle distance.
Oh, this could be a real opportunity to open up the Reds, so I think he's got to take the risk. And now he's got a small lead. Got to play a shot here. Deserves to be on something. Oh, dearie me. I thought he could have got into it a bit harder, but I have to say he's unlucky to finish where he has.
6.
It does seem as if the balls are conspiring against the players this evening. They play a perfectly okay shot, but the element of luck they also require has all too often
Bingtao
not helped
6.
them.
Don't know whether he's left a red to the left corner here. I wonder. Just for a second I got a good glimpse of one that looked like it might have gone. Oh, Robertson's interested in it as well. So that wasn't a particularly good shot from Bingtao, because he tried nothing with the shot he played and stuck a red, and maybe more.
Eight. Nine. $14. $50.
Need to be high on that black, otherwise you couldn't get onto it. Not sure if he's got a cannon in mind. In actual fact, the bottom red pots to the same pocket as he's knocked the black in.
$22. $23. $30.
You'll need certainly part of those two reds, one of them at least of the two reds down that are tied up next to each other. Need one of those with a high value colour.
31.
Whatever he takes before then, he could play the cannon here. Would be delaying the inevitable not to, I think. Not very good. Might still play the red down the rail, but
38.
that cannon went wrong.
$39.
That was a better shot than it looked. He didn't roll it in. Did it with a bit of speed. And they can rattle and stay there. Well, this is the best little period of play, I think, from Robertson.
46.
It's a decent 46, this, from not an easy starter.
$47.
So this is where he clinches a 3-1 lead.
$54. 55. Neil Robertson, 55. Yeah, and the frame.
And that's how Neil Robertson read Yan Bingtao 3-1 at the mid-session interval.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Yan Bingtao and Neil Robertson.
It took only 5 minutes short of 2 hours for Neil Robertson to eke out his 3-1 lead.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Frame 5. Yan Bingtao to break.
Very important for Yan Bingtao to win this frame, to raise to a single frame on ahead. It will be like that he's
Foul. Yan Bingtao 4.
well, if he'd made his intended contact on the red, he probably wouldn't have gone in off. But he really did miss the red by a long way. Well,
Yeah, I just caught the near jaw. Unfortunately, the pace of it, he couldn't really move too far away from the pocket. I suppose he played it slowly and it was risky. Dead straight it looked, didn't it? This managed to just squeeze an angle out, and that actually is a really good shot.
but with the previous shot, I'm assuming that Yan intended it. It was an extraordinary shot to play in a way.
Yes, otherwise play it a bit firmer, I suppose, so it can at least move away from the pocket. He got a little bit better, I mean, as the session went on there, that first 4 frames, did Neil. He started to
8.
get into a bit of a rhythm, but it was only a bit. It really wasn't anything earth-shattering that we saw.
9.
But I don't think he'll worry. It's not really his responsibility at this stage. He's got to get through and be at the weekend where he can win this title, I suppose. Oh dear, no, that is poor. Very
Neil
poor.
Robertson 9.
Very, very unusual for Robertson to miss a black off the spot like that.
It is unusual, isn't it? And he usually likes that angle where he's high on the black, off the cushion and back up. Most unlike him.
1. Eight. Nine.
Would rather have avoided the kiss so that he would have been on the blue at a slight angle to right middle. And hasn't recovered good position.
12. Yan Bingtao, 12.
One thing he'll have to do is to make sure that Reds don't keep going over the hole like that on those safety shots. It probably doesn't happen on whatever tables he practices on back home if they're a little slower and they're not the near replica of these, but when the cloths are so fast, you play a thin safety and you can easily drag a red over a corner pocket if you're not careful. And he'll pay the price for doing that over a period of time.
One. Seven. 8. $50. 60.
Nice angle of that shot, and you can see he
21.
didn't quite get as far as he would hope. There were the courses available, but I don't think he can avoid other reds here in potting it. Nicely controlled though.
$28. $29. $35.
Hit the wrong red
36.
first there, I think, Clive, because the cue ball could never have finished there. It was now that red, the top one of the three moved first. The cue ball dropped down.
Brown ball.
There always seems to be something going wrong unexpectedly in this match.
Certainly, yeah.
Neil
It's been
Robertson,
very
36.
frustrating, I think, for both players. I guess Robertson's frustrations might be slightly alleviated by the fact that he might go 4-1 up soon. He's only got a lead of 29, but he's starting to dominate the exchanges, albeit still not anywhere near his best and missing a few.
But sometimes the important thing is not how good your best is, but how good is your average performance, or even more to the point, how good is your worst. You can't play to maximum capacity every day.
Well, the pot success suggests that neither player is at their best. Clearly, Robertson 88% is not the worst thing you've ever seen, or 77 is will need to be improved upon if he aims to get back into this match. Whose level very rarely dropped below a certain standard, and while we know that he dominated the game in the 80s, he didn't always play out of his skin, but you know, 75% of his game would beat almost everybody still that was around him.
On the other hand, only peak performance really satisfies Roy Sullivan. Countless times he's played very well by any sensible standard and has come into the media centre completely cheesed off and dissatisfied. A one-man ovation for that safety shot.
One.
Far from ideal on the black though.
Bingtao, 1.
Viewers may be able to hear some music in the background. There is another arena next to the one in which this tournament is being played. It's quite a big arena, this, and there's another one pretty much the same for a different event.
One.
Robertson acknowledges with a wave of the hand that the cross double was unintentional.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Oh,
Okay,
I
thank you.
think it's a one cushion escape here, dropping onto the 2 reds, nothing more. Actually went off the second cushion in the end, but it's perfectly okay. But playing at that speed, the downside will always be that Neil should get him somewhere in behind the yellow again, I think.
Just played to the baulk cushion. That attempted pot was contacted much too thin, so this is a chance for Robertson to clinch a 4-1 lead.
1. Seven. 8.
Even before that pink, Bingtao needed a snooker.
14. 15.
So Robertson just makes sure of the last red without any attempted positional heroics.
Neil Robertson, 15 and a frame.
And leads by 4 frames to 1. He's pulling away. Neil Robertson 3 frames clear as we resume.
One.
two good shots in a row. The red was well struck and the black got a little bite on that. Took the cue ball back where he wanted it to.
Nine.
Red at the bottom of the bunch will go to the same pocket as the one he's taking this black in.
Yep.
He's asking for the cue ball to be clean. He has had a couple
60.
of kicks on run-through shots that might resemble this one. Well, the angle is there to stun hard into the bunch. Maybe the right-hand red, perhaps. Well, that was the plan. He's actually okay. Reds have not exactly spread right across the table.
24.
And this time, pretty wide target from the blue to go into these. I think a bit of speed is required on this one. Well, he stroked it, but the cue ball part of it you won't like, even though there
30.
appears to be one red on. Mind you, that is a tight one. We'll be banking on knocking that in, especially from there.
Very good recovery.
I thought this dropped a bit slightly down from right to left from there. What do you think, Clive? Tiny bit?
Yes. It looked as if it was drifting into the side cushion and then it drifted back in again.
I suppose if it's going to go anyway, it probably should
36.
just go the other way. Don't think he knew the roll. I think it just happened to go that way.
Yes, it was difficult to predict really which way it would go. The shot being played against the nap of the cloth. Well, he missed that because he was trying to
Near Robertson.
manufacture
36.
an angle by sending the red into the pocket off one of the jaws, the top cushion jaw.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can use the pocket all that much on these. They're not easy tables, I don't think, this week. Not too many have been going in along cushions, and the ones that have been in all the way. And I think it's dropped in off the top jaw. If he's clung to the red he's very close to, it's a bit unfortunate. Robertson actually looking up at the monitor to see if his opponent has got a shot here. This is tough. Well played. Nicely recovered.
The highest break that Yan Bingtao has made this evening is 30. So it's high time he made something higher than that.
12. 13. 18. 19. 24. 25.
Well, that's not quite far enough. I mean, so you just got to play with a bit of extra care and attention on this shot. Probably going to cannon the 2 reds, but you mustn't forget to pop this. Well, that's good. Made it look easy, actually.
32. 33. 40.
Needs all 4 remaining reds if he's to win the frame at this visit.
Thanks. 41. Bingtao. 41.
Very untimely to make a mistake like that.
One. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was about. He looked to have the right angle to swing the cue ball around there. He's hit it to the far jaw. It was never going to drop. Maybe he just rushed it a bit. Because he's a 15-year-old, he's, you know, this is another long match, a test of his concentration. We've seen his ability, but to come out and play another match on the same day against someone like Neil over the best of 11 was always going to be a tall order. Certainly shown glimpses of the form from this afternoon. Nothing more.
I think it is his concentration that's wilting.
8.
There was no obvious reason why he should have missed that black from its spot. Basic shot.
9.
There would be a reason why Neil will miss this down the cushion, hence the reason he's not playing it. That must be an indication of
60.
the way that these tables are, pocket-wise, not very big, because there would have been a period of time a few years ago where you'd have rolled yourself, let yourself on that to roll down the cushion, that shot. Fancy pulling the red. Goodness me.
Neil Robertson. 60.
There've been some unexpected misses tonight, Neil.
I don't know what happened there.
1.
I assumed that Jan had played his last shot in this frame, actually. He might have done as well. But now, there's nothing difficult to win the frame.
To pull up to only 4-2 behind when
6,
it looked odds on 5-1.
8, 11.
Brown, blue, pink needed.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be straight on this. Don't think it's a gimme to get from brown to blue. There's a very slight angle, but he's got to really force this. It makes the shot missable. Not
15.
bad. And this actually could be a natural. With a bit of speed to go all around the table here, in behind the pink and onto it, into one of the bulk pockets.
$20.
Yeah. It's awkward to the middle.
And it's a long way to far corner. But he's got it. First it seemed that Jan had thrown the frame away. Then Robertson missed unexpectedly, and Jan has taken the frame on the pink. Robertson still leads though by 4 frames to 2.
Welcome back to the Ricoh Arena. About to get the 7th frame underway. Jan Bingtao's just pulled a frame back on Neil Robertson. Just how important, Alan McManus, was it for Jan to get that frame?
Yeah, if he'd any aspirations of winning the match, he had to, really, didn't he? Neil Robertson would have taken his little comfort break there, and he'd be disappointed. As Neil said, he moved the last thread off the cushion, left it just half missable, and we've seen how tight the pockets are all week and just undercut it. It was a good little clearance from Jan to keep him in the match, but you know, if it had gone 5-1, I think it was match over, but he's still in there fighting.
Albeit that Jan still has a lot to do, still 2 frames adrift. The kiss could easily have left that red on, but didn't. Jan made his highest break of the match in the last frame, 41. I think if he's to make much further progress, he needs a few more contributions like that, because to win purely grinding frames against somebody like Robertson is asking such a lot.
Foul on this. Robertson 6.
Goes back. The pink moved. I think one of the red might have moved as well. That one.
Yeah. Foul and a miss.
Too much adjustment.
Neil Robertson 7.
13
3-1.
points
Back.
given away. free ball, chance to make a 155 break, which doesn't happen all the time, but of course he couldn't do anything with the free ball actually. It's the only way, of course, that you can get more than 147. It's been done once in competitive play.
By Jamie Burnett of Scotland in UK qualifying a few years ago. 148.
Foul on a miss.
Well, these are points
Neil Robertson,
that
four.
might be crucial ones at the end of this frame. 17 so far, and if I'm honest, it's not that difficult a snooker. Oh dear, has he done it again? I think he's just got there. That's all right. He didn't really want to hit that low because he could have pushed one of those reds over the hole.
Jan was able to attempt that double with minimal risk. Plenty of Chinese supporters in the audience. And those two ladies make a point of coming to the Champion of Champions at Coventry every year. They save up all year to come here. It's their favourite tournament. Not much risk in attempting the long red to right corner. Could finish on pink to middle or black to corner. No attempt at the pot though. Did that surprise you, Neil?
Yeah, he refuses 1 or 2 now, doesn't he? That he certainly would have gone for. I think he plays more of a waiting game than I've ever seen in his case.
But the reason why I was surprised that he turned that red down was that there didn't appear to be very much risk attached to it. He might not have potted it, but it was the only red he could possibly leave.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that he just doesn't seem quite so willing to take on any risks. And as a consequence, you know, is he a more dangerous player than he used to be? He's clearly a leading contender this week. And he's won, you know, double digits ranking tournaments. I don't think he's at his real best, and he hasn't been for a good while, good few months.
There's a safety error. We've been going more than 2.5 hours this evening.
1.
Don't think he's on anything.
Bingtao 4.
A lot of speed on the cue ball because he tipped the red so thin. He brought 2 reds into potting range.
Seven. Eight.
Not sure entirely what he played, whether he tried to just nudge into the red that's below the pink there and stay on the pink to the middle. Disappointing end, that, to a little chance that he had.
Yellow ball.
Yes, I think that's what he was trying to do.
Bingtao 8.
But in failing to do it, progress in this frame continues to be slow.
Foul and a miss.
He's actually been threatening
4.
to do that for a while. His last safety shot, the red just wavered, and it was over that side of the table as well. So it's not a great shock that he missed them altogether.
1.
Joe Perry awaits the winner of this match at the weekend.
3.
He clearly knows Neil Robertson's game pretty well. They've played a lot, and Robertson would have had the better of those exchanges. There's nothing about Jan, or certainly hasn't played him. Don't see that the standard we've seen tonight should have Joe Perry quaking in his boots at the prospect. I'm not saying it will be the same at the weekend because it's another day, but he played a lot better and beaten John Higgins last night than the standard
11.
we're seeing tonight.
12. $19. $20.
Meanwhile, Jan is showing some creditable tenacity.
Those two reds below the black to the right of it, he'd love to get in behind one of those. That would open things up. That's the route he's gone. It's okay. Well played.
23. 24. 31.
And Neil Robertson thought that he was just going to continue to plug away and it was all going to fall into his
32.
lap. This has proved that it's not going to be enough for him. His game is going to have to raise as well. He's going to have to start to play a lot better. This frame not by any means safe yet, but a very useful
39.
lead. Might be that the break ends here.
Yes, just slid off that cannon to an unfavourable place.
Jan Bingtao, 39.
Robertson hasn't potted a ball for nearly 20 minutes. That was a great way to get out of trouble.
Yes, and we saw that against Sean Murphy a couple of times. He was really in trouble with only a pot and no safety. And it kind of clears the mind, doesn't it, when you know you've got to go for one. You haven't got an alternative. He's the only one of these two playing snooker at the moment. It's only a last frame and a bit.
8.
He's really getting into Robertson. Not playing as well as he
9.
did earlier, but still, you know, showing a bit of verve and a bit sort of joy of youth.
Yes, Jan has been scoring better the last 2 frames.
16.
Not with earth-shattering breaks. 41 in the last frame.
17.
39 in this. But he's certainly scoring more fluently. And
24.
Robertson is going to have to pull his socks up if he's to close out this match.
25. $32.
Already well over the winning line.
33.
And gathering confidence and momentum.
$40. 41. 46.
I do quite like the idea that he's the
48.
former world amateur champion, the age of 15. Pretty unlikely to be former anything, isn't it? He's not even the current champion. He won it when he's 14, which has been done before, but
51.
yeah, so to speak, with the way Michael White won a very similar event. But the World Amateur has always been a very prestigious tournament, and
55.
that alone tells you that he can really play.
The World Amateur Championship is in fact going on at the moment in Hurghada in Egypt.
60.
This has been a terrific break from a
66.
cracking long red. Great stuff.
73 on frame.
Breaks of 39 and 73 in that frame from Yang Bingtao. He was 4-1 down, but Robertson now leads only 4-3.
Okay, Neil, thank you. Thank you, frame 8. Neil Robertson to break.
Neil Robertson's commanding 4-1 lead has been reduced to 4-3. No doubt about it. Yang Bingtao has a fresh wind in his sails.
Now as you're on that red, it's a bit a tight one, narrow angle as well.
8.
Not sure. That's still not sure actually. That might go. Both sides of it, both angles, in front and behind. It definitely went because he
Bingtao,
actually hit
8.
more of it than he needed to. So the red in the pack that was in the way, it was more of a distraction than anything else. It wasn't actually stopping him potting it. Missed it to the near jaw, Clive.
Yeah.
Very handy plant that was there. Robertson in the last couple of frames. Not that he ever played all well, but he did lead
To
four.
reassert himself.
8. Nine.
The red at the top of the bunch is potable.
He's screwing back off this, trying to get out up onto the lower value colours
15.
and develop reds. He's done most of that.
Well,
He just goes, this red, past the other one.
The highest break that Robertson's somewhat flat performance has produced this evening is 55. He could do
Thank you.
with something substantial here.
21. Yeah. 28. Thank you. 29. $36. 37.
And gradually all these reds are available. I think the right red of the five, if he got on it correctly, would go as well. He's a left-hander. He could get in behind it from somewhere where he's standing now. and he'd probably move a red or two in the process. Well, that's another alternative, I suppose. Although, I don't know if he can reach it.
42.
Just.
$43.
There were only 5 balls in the cluster, so the odds were heavily
48.
in his favour. Golden chance to clinch the frame at this visit then.
$49. $54. $55. $62. $63.
Frame is safe now.
70. 71.
This has been a lot more like it, actually. It's been woken up from his slight slumber by an opponent who started knocking in a few balls, and it's made
78.
Neil play, which is a good sign.
$79.
Yes, Robertson has responded to the mounting pressure, having had his 4-1 lead reduced to 4-3.
$86. $87.
Robertson needed to raise his game, and he has.
93. Here Robertson, 93.
He's not bothered about missing the century, because the 93 break serves the same purpose. It puts him 2 up with 3 to play at 5-3.
Thank you. Frame 9. Yan Bingtao to break.
So if Yan Bingtao is to play Joe Perry in the semi-finals, he has to win the 3 remaining frames. Minimal risk attached to that attempted double. Jan contemplating a plant, which may be makeable. So that's something that Robertson didn't think of when he was selecting his shot.
No, but as you say, it had to be made. It was a really good shot. Play with the left-hand side, which is reverse side with screw. Cue ball zipped up the table there.
8. 9. 40. 50. 19. 20.
Well, it's the chance to break the reds perhaps, although pink's just a bit up above from them. Got to hit this full on. Oh, he's played it very
Foul.
well and very unluckily.
Jan Bingtao, 20. Neil Robertson,
Deserved a
5.
better fate, that shot. He hit the pink really square on, and that's why he got the split, but he can't really do a lot about that.
What a cruel game this can be. Played the shot perfectly, and yet all that's happened is that he's given Robertson a match-clinching chance, albeit with a long way to go.
Yes, but
1.
of course that the black now pots to the left corner. If he gets on the other red soon, black spot is completely free. So you know, it is a decent chance.
Six. 7. 12.
Poor positional
30.
shot. There was quite a reasonable margin of error for Robertson's positional shot. But all he's got on now is a safety.
Yellow ball. Neil Robertson, 30.
This match has been running just over 3 hours. Wants the cue ball to bounce, and it has sufficiently for him to pot the green. So this is a second match clinching chance.
Yeah, lots of reds go to the left corner here, and you were over on the right side. He's got choices. He's not played it all that well. He could have been nearer to them.
4.
Plenty of margin for error there. If he'd got closer to the reds or gone beyond them, he had the one above the black. It's given him a bit more to do than would have hoped.
5. Yellow. $18. 19. $26. 27.
And it's black, a red and a colour. After a step up on what he's played like here, it's not really good enough, I don't think, to win the tournament. I'm sure he's
34.
very capable of playing better at the weekend. If he can get over the line here.
$35.
Yan Bingtao has made a very creditable showing. The 15-year-old Chinese. beat Sean Murphy this afternoon. And from 4-1 down,
42.
reduced his arrears to 4-3 this evening.
43.
Yes, I think it would be a major shock to me if he didn't go on and become a very, very good player, because all the talent is there. He's as green as grass at the moment with his game, but that's what you'd expect of anyone so young.
48. $50.
Robertson's 4-1 lead was reduced
Neil Robertson,
to
50.
4-3. But with two frame clinches of 93 and 50, he won the remaining 2 frames he needed, and so prevails by 6 frames to 3.